What cheers first.
Welcome back to another episode of Youth in the Pen, episode 46. Today we have the third, but I would arguably say the most important managerial member, Mr. John Coventry Senior. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you. Thanks for
Good.
asking. I'm good.
Nice. Enjoying your holiday, apart from doing this?
Yeah, it's good, mate. Yeah, only been here a couple of days, but no, it's all good. Just get away break in the winter, isn't it? You know what I mean? Bit of sunshine,
Definitely.
couple of beers.
Can't
Had a good
complain.
day yesterday. Had a good day yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Because yeah, Jason came out here. His mum and dad are out here, weren't they?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we all tied up and arranged to meet, and we did. And we had a good drink and a good laugh. To be fair, it was brilliant.
Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Perfect. Frank, all good?
Yeah, I'm all well,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the haircut.
Yeah, Cover, you're a fan of Frank's haircut, aren't you? You saying?
Yeah, it's very sharp, very
It is,
smart,
isn't it?
and
Yeah.
Look,
suits him perfectly.
Tommy Brolly's copied me. What are you talking about? It must be, the goalkeeper's copied me.
Is that good or
The
bad?
goalkeeper, eh?
Don't get me wrong. He wears it a lot better.
Goalkeeper.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it's Frank, you're the odd one out here, mate.
Go on.
You're in England. What's wrong?
Yeah, that's true.
What's
Yeah.
going wrong? You need to get
I'm
abroad.
the only one in Thurrock. I'm
Yeah.
the only one in
You're
Thurrock.
the only one actually near Essex or in Essex. So yeah, unlucky. Right, we'll get straight into the results. Um, the reserve team game was postponed due to waterlogged pitch, so we actually only had two fixtures. The first we'll start off with the men's first team, and we won 1-0 at home to Cressing. Covo, do you want to start off? A little bit of a
What do you want to? What do you want to know?
backstory about the game, your point of view.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think at this stage where we are in the league, everyone's going to want to play us, and everybody's going to want to do well against us. And Cressing did make it more difficult than other teams have in the past.
Yeah,
But saying that, a 1-0 win might sort of, to some people, sound like, oh, well, that was close. Yeah, I mean, it was reasonably close, but at the same time, winning 1-0, I'll take that all day long, every
yeah,
game.
definitely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we were speaking before we come on, Frank, and very nice assist from Purdy. Much like his one to Milesy the week before, he's hit a bit of full mini cover goal, couple of assists. It's must be a we mentioned before on podcasts that although it's a great squad and things like that, it shows the versatility because he's played in central midfield, but we've also had him as part of a three and just shows how good the squad is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be fair. If you're going to start challenging to try and win anything, it is a squad game. It's never the starting 11. And we're fortunate that we can keep people on the sidelines at times that can come on and do a job, or if we have to start them, they can do a job in that way. And our squad is good, and not only good in the sense of they can all play. They're good in the sense that they can accept I'm not in the team this week, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
sulk. I'm just going to be there, ready if needed. And I think that's the strongest bit about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I couldn't
Yeah, I
agree
completely
more.
agree.
Go on, Frank, what you gonna say?
No, I'm saying I totally agree. I mean, we were missing Princey, missing Milesy, missing Daly, and we're playing against a really good team. And I thought first half, I thought we could have been 3-4 up. Missed a couple of easy chances, didn't we, in that first half? We could have put the game to bed. But I think you saw both sides of our game in that game on Saturday. I thought you saw really well, really good attack going forward. Obviously not finishing, but going forward, I thought we were all over them. But the second half, when they came out, they put us under all sorts of pressure. Loads of set pieces, loads of
Yeah.
long balls, and we just stood up to it. And I know we keep saying it, but last season I think we probably lose that because I think we would have got a little bit when the pressure started to tell. I think we would have folded. But yeah, this lot they really don't look like they're folding this year. They stand up when they need to. They dig in when they need to, and that's how you win leagues with little 1-0s like that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I agree with that. I think added to that is, when you start, we was missing, as you've just already identified, missing some key players. Now, the players that we was missing on that day was basically a massive part of our midfield. We're
Yeah,
fortunate that we have an abundance of midfield players that can step in and do the job. But at the same time, Personally, I don't like playing games without people with like Molesey not in it, and also, we are so good in that area. We're sport for choice,
Mm.
but Molesey wasn't there, and he took a bit of a slagging off me for not being there. But there you go. Um, but no, and I think what I have to say is, if our midfield is not up to scratch as it should be week in week out, we've gone and got, or say we, Covo's gone and got Newbie into the side. Now
Yeah,
Newbie is going to be an asset at this level all day long, and
yeah,
that's what's proving. And to bring an extra centre half in with Flynn, which is Covo's been trying to get Flynn for ages, and now we have, and it works out perfect in the sense of Ray can no longer commit completely,
yeah,
so that sort of fills that gap, if you like. So yeah, we've defended well, and you can go and beat teams 6-0, 4-0, whatever. But if you can't defend and you've defended a 1-0 lead, which we have, that gives you a lot more opportunity to win leagues, if you like.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Agree.
Yeah, it's a very nice result, as you say, Govo. It's always nice scoring loads of goals, but those 1-0 wins are sometimes the most important results of a season.
Yeah,
Because, as you say, one goal you concede and you've lost 2 points straight away. If you do that a lot of times, that then quickly goes from a good run of form to an okay run of form. And yeah, no, it's credit to the boys. I think that's the fifth clean sheet of the season now, which
Yeah,
is good. And
well, that's good. I didn't realise that. That's good.
yeah,
yeah.
well,
That is.
obviously, both times that Barnsley's played in goal, I think he's kept a clean sheet, whether that's by luck or judgment. But and then that's a third for Tommy. So yeah, and we've done very well, I think, in that
Yeah,
view.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Very
Right.
good.
So sorry, go on.
No, just I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, perfect.
Everything. I mean, if you want me to elaborate on that, I can, because, and I think what I have to say is it's so good to work with such a great bunch of lads.
Yeah.
Right? These are not lads that are playing step 4, step 3, step 2. They're playing what, step 7? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're playing that level, but you wouldn't recognise that this is step 7 when you watch our players approach the game the way they do, the things they do during the game. They are a credit to any club, and they would be a credit to any club.
Yeah.
I have to say that because I love working with them. They're so they want information, and they want more and more all the time. I think they're brilliant, and it's down to them. Obviously, mostly it's down to Covo and Kev,
Mhm.
because they pick the team. That's their decisions. I don't get involved in that. That's not a problem. Um, but once these players have been picked, 9 times out of 10 they all perform because they want to
yeah,
be in the team next week as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's a real credit, and it's really nice to see. So yeah, another win for the first team. Keep our run going at the top, which is nice. And yeah, it's we're going into every week. Obviously, as I'm sure you can appreciate, Cobo, it's you've been in this position before. You don't want to be complacent at all, but you're going into every
Mm.
game being very very disappointed if you don't get a win because of how you've played so far
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean,
start of the season.
it's quite ironic, Michael, that you use one certain word that I use that same word every single game,
Yeah.
complacent. And that's
yeah,
the word. And they'll all tell you,
Mhm.
that's the word I go to them with, that word, because the moment you get complacent, you can kiss goodbye to any success.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I try to drum that into them, and sometimes certain individuals, and I ain't going to sit here and name people, but it does change. Some people are conscious of it not being complacent. Some other players at times are not as uh, conscious of that fact. So, but I still keep working just as strongly with them to get that point over. That come on, you're a team, you're a squad, you're a group that want to win something. Let's all just go out and give everything all of the time.
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, no, and from the outside, it's certainly working so far. So yeah, another win for the first team, which is great. Moving, as I say, the reserves game was postponed due to waterlogged pitch. So moving on to Sunday, unfortunately, the unbeaten run for the women couldn't continue. I think it was a game, after speaking to Jono, it was a game that they could be disappointed by. I'm not sure it was a 5-1 result. However, when you have someone sent off in the first half after 30 minutes, it's always going to be a tough battle. I think it's one of those games where you kind of dust yourself off, don't really believe how bad it possibly was. And yeah, it's a freak result, I believe. They're a good side, Southland First, don't get me wrong, as I mentioned last week. And yeah, it's one of those things. It's football. You can't win every week. You can't draw every week. So unfortunately, the unbeaten run has come to an end. But it was a pretty good one at 10 games, and they've certainly put themselves in a good position for their first season under the East Thurrock community banner. It's been a pretty good start so far, Frank.
Yeah, well, they've been flying, haven't they? They've been flying. But again, it's just another test for them. Like we had a test, didn't we? The men's first team. We went on a nice run unbeaten and then got beat by Tiptree and bounced straight back. And it's going to be a similar test for the girls now. Yeah. They've started really, really well. Again, they've probably won games they didn't expect to win and got points where they didn't expect. So they give themselves a little bit of leeway. But yeah, but like I say, they've got the red card as well, so that hasn't helped. But it's an opportunity for some of the others now to step up and get themselves back into winning ways, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't agree more. So, yeah, unfortunately, a 5-1 loss for the ladies at the weekend. But as you say, Frank, dust themselves off and go again next week. We'll get onto the fixtures because they've got a very big game on Sunday. But yeah, we'll get onto that slightly after. So that was both the results from this week. Just if you can, Covo, try and summarise a little bit your managerial coaching journey for anyone that might not know, even though if you follow this club from any sort of level, I think you'd be quite silly not to know. But that's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, where do I start? Before non-league football existed in my world, I was so into football, I went and done coaching badges because I loved that idea of being able to coach one day. Which, that opportunity did come along, but at the same time, going to East Thurrock was completely sort of a bit out of my depth, I thought, at the beginning. I went there to help Lee Patterson, who was the manager at the time, and Lee knew how to manage. He had his own style, his own ways of doing it, but it was effective. I was, at that time, just the number 3. Dave Card was the assistant manager. I was there basically ball, bibs and cones, and that's fine because you have to do them bits before you can move on. Eventually, Lee did so well at East Thurrock. He was then offered the opportunity to go to a higher club at a higher level, which was Braintree Town. He did ask me to go with him. I didn't think at that time that was a good move for me, and was quite prepared to just drop out completely. And just pick up somewhere else at another time. The owner of our club, as we all know, the late Mr. Benny Bennett, who was quite a big person in my football career because he gave me a massive opportunity. He one day phoned me up while I was at work and asked me to come and see him, and I said I couldn't because I'm at work, Ben. Benny then turned around and said, "No, get down here now." And you didn't argue with Benny at the time, so I got down there now. I went straight there. I went into the clubhouse where it was shut because it was early. Doors opened. Benny standing behind it, comes in. He said, "It won't take long." I said, "Well, what's the matter?" He said, "Nothing's the matter." He said, "You're the first team manager." And I thought, "Oh, bloody hell. I'm not too sure about this, Ben." He said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "You ain't got a choice. See you later." That's how Benny dealt with a lot of things. And to be honest, now I look back now and the fact that he had faith in me must have seen something. It was difficult to start with because I'm massively learning. I'm out of my depth straight away. Hence the first season that we got relegated. But that's probably what goes with when you appoint somebody as not as naive, but lack of experience. But we soon corrected that. we end up getting promotion. We then go on to win the Ryman 1-0, whatever it was called at the time. Success just followed. And when I say success followed, yeah, I was heading the club, whatever you like. But don't forget, my strength was I recruited people that I knew would be a massive help to me, i.e. Jay Devereux. Jay Devereux was a massive help to me at the time. I knew Jay only briefly because we'd played against Redbridge the season before. I think that was where Devs was. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, that attracted, Joe Keefe was there. Joe Keefe came in as a player, which obviously he's been there and done everything. And then the playing career, obviously, sort of dropped off a little bit, and he became part of our staff. So then there's me, Devs, and Joe, and I don't think many clubs would argue about having that as a threesome running their club.
But just for context, before you carry on, Covo, for anyone that doesn't know, Devs is still a charge of #United, and he's one of the longest-serving managers in England. So just shows how well he's doing there. Joe is obviously with him on the coaching staff as well at #United. And that just proves that the level that was at. Just before we go on with Joe, I still remember, I think it was a free kick away. It might have been Redbridge or something that he sort of, no, Haybridge Swifts it was. Now I remember it was Haybridge Swifts. He wrapped in a free kick before he finished from the left side of the box, straight over the wall and in. And it just showed that class that he had. Obviously, his playing career when he come to us was towards the end, but it just showed that quality he had. I would like to put a little bit of context and refer it back to the modern day team a little bit. I think that's the same type of vibe as what Newbie will bring to this team. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, you're talking about obviously two completely different individuals.
Yeah,
Joe as a player had been there and done it at a much higher level as well. I bet that free kick you're talking about wasn't with his right foot.
No.
But, that's how good he was with his left. But no, Joe knows the game. He's been amongst a lot higher personnel players-wise than I can ever talk about. If you want to move that on to Newbie, that's a different situation completely. Newbie came to us. I've known Newbie for probably too many years, but he came into us years ago, and it's quite good, the opportunity to get him back involved with an East Thurrock named club like we are now. I think the first thing I did was, because I have a wife that helps me with stats, and we produced him with the stats that he had produced for East Thurrock, and they're quite impressive, really. And I gave him a bit of paper, here's your stats, and he was quite pleased to see him, and probably didn't realise how much he'd achieved as well. And to have him back now, one thing you'll get from Noobs, the one thing you probably don't expect is, I say don't expect, he's not the age he was when he was with me before. But there might be a yard or two pace gone, but determination and desire to win a game of football, that ain't changed. That don't change. No. And that's where it's helping us. And he's also helping other players within that team.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can see the leadership that he's brought straight away. The moment he played his first game, all you can hear is him, talking, cajoling, demanding, again, and that's what you need. I think with these youngsters, you need a bit of, you obviously don't need to get on their back all the time, but you do need someone to demand, because we know the quality of these players, and I think sometimes when the level drops, you can definitely hear him letting people know that the level has dropped. You know what I mean? And that's what you need.
And I think also what it does, Harry Prince does that. Harry Prince helps the younger players. To have more than one, you don't have to have one, you don't have to have two, the more the merrier. I actually think, when Harry Daly's involved or he's available, I think he's probably right up there with people that would play higher. And we noticeably miss Harry Daly when he's not there. But we are spoiled for choice in the centre midfield. To have Bobby, to have Daly, to have Princey, to have Milesy, it's a luxury for this level of football, I would think.
Yeah. Definitely,
yeah. Sorry, I sidetracked you a little bit there. So we got to the point where you was with Devs and Joe. And yeah, so that was you got all the way up to the Ryman Prem with them. We
Yeah,
went
yeah.
a little bit higher than that, didn't we?
Oh, of course we did. Yeah, we'd up muck about. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a good. I mean, at the time, everybody's buzzing. We've got to the top region of the Ryman Prem, which all resulted into having a playoff game against Dulwich, which at that time they were one of the best. Well, probably was the best footballing side in our division. And with them, they bring about 2,000 people with them. Their support is fantastic, which in the end really helped because financially they've got to come to our ground. And all them 2,000 supporters have got to pay to get in our ground. And that's money for our club, which is brilliant. And that's not even talking about the performance because we deserved it that day. We beat them. Our set pieces, what we were speaking about earlier, was so good. We threatened every time. Yes, probably they would be a better footballing side, and sometimes you have to make decisions to go a little bit more direct. If that's going to get you a corner where you're going to score a goal from, which was happening, I can sit back and recall the goals in my head now. Like it's just so we didn't waste any opportunity from set pieces to take the lead and go on to win. A fantastic day at Rookery Hill.
Yeah, no, it was pretty special, and yeah, no, as you say, to beat a team like Dulwich, obviously any team that gets in the playoffs of that division are a quality side, but that the numbers of fans they have, the following they got,
Yeah,
yeah, you knew it was a tough game, of course, a playoff final to go into the Conference South, and the sixth tier of English football is never going to be easy. But a team like that, you must have thought we've really got our work cut out here, and by the end of the
yeah,
day, you think we mastered that. It really did feel like that. There was a
yeah.
plan
I'm
from
not.
the outset, and yeah,
Yeah,
gave it
I
to a
wouldn't
T.
say we went into that game confident that we're definitely going to win this. We always knew we're going to compete.
Hmm.
But when you're playing the Dulwich side, I'm telling you, that was a very good Dulwich side.
Yeah,
And, there's players that have gone on to a lot better things that have come out of Dulwich. Uh, but, we showed on, and it is, I mean, how many times do people say football on the day, this can happen. And on the day that did happen. But I've got to be honest with you, the moment after that final whistle went, I think me, Devs, Joe, we sat in our office and just thought, sorry, can I swear or not?
Yeah, of course you
yeah,
can.
well, yeah.
Fuck me, what have we done? That was our first thought. Our first, our first thoughts were that. It was just scary, but
Yeah.
we dealt with it. I don't think we made too many changes in the summer. My memory's not as good as it used to be, but we did make some, and people that would come in. It was easier to attract people because the level we're now playing at,
Yeah.
non-league players want to do that. Financially, that's another story. It's more difficult, obviously, because you go into that league and you're dealing with clubs that, are very well run and can generate lots of money. We was very well run, but couldn't generate loads of money. But we obviously had enough to. And I'd be honest, if I'm looking back now, and I don't know if Debs would agree with me or not. Um, I think we expected to go into that for one season and possibly end up back where we was. We lasted 3 seasons, and I thought that was a fantastic achievement for our club. I really did. People can say we got relegated. Yeah, we did. Have a look at that league. Have a look to what we was up against at that time. We can compete with that. That had definitely improved, and financially things go up like anything does. But no, it's great to have. I mean, if anybody talks to me about football, I chuck that in, and I think there's always some people around me say, "Shut up, Cov, I don't mention that again." But I'm going to use that for the rest of my life. So there you go.
That's fantastic. And yeah, you mentioned about bringing a couple of players in. I think there's one that sticks at the top of my head. I don't know if it was in the first season, but I think it may have been. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, Coro, if you can remember. Kane Ferdinand?
Kane wasn't there very long.
No.
I mean, to be honest, on that situation, I look more at people like Marvin Ekpetita.
Yeah.
I mean,
gone to play for Hibs.
Yeah, exactly. That ain't bad, is it?
It's ridiculous.
Blackpool to start. Yeah, exactly. And I'm still in touch with him. It's sort of every now and then. If he moves to a club, I'm not first person. I just drop him a little text saying, "Well done, Marvs. Good luck to you, mate," and all that. Because it's nice to associate these people with our club, and they fondly look back at their times at our club. If it's given them a platform to a point, brilliant. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, I was the manager at the time. I've made him a better player." I ain't made nobody a better player. You know what I mean? It's what they've got out of it because of what they've put into it, and that opportunity arrives for them. So yeah, brilliant.
It was a very, very nice journey, and there was plenty of memories along the way. But it's all the experience that we've had and everything like that. It's now all going into this new team, and as you say, Covo, it's growing game on game. We're bringing in new players and playing a way that we like to play, and the team is playing very well. I've got to add myself. It's very nice to see, and obviously good to have your experience along the way as well.
And I think, Michael, before you chuck me off, I'd like to add something because you talk about my experience, which obviously I'm old, so I've got that. But I think the one thing I want to mention now is because now I'm dealing with obviously a different level of player, which I don't find an issue. I'm not saying everybody fits exactly what I want them to be doing. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated, but in general, the large majority of them do listen to me, and not only listen to me, but want to listen to me. Now, we have a situation now where very fairly recently taken on a young player. Obviously, I'm talking about Tommy Barnacle. And because football is what it is, you get situations where somebody does well, other clubs or other managers find that out and then want to make an approach for these players. And I get that because I've done it myself, so I know how it works. There's been an approach coming for Tommy. And the first thing I did was talk to Tommy's dad because Tommy's still young. Tommy didn't even know what a 7-day approach was. Didn't have a clue. And he wouldn't, and I don't expect him to. So I've been fortunate that a couple of away games have ended up having a chat with Tommy's dad, who's a very nice person and sort of brilliant for me because I love it because he put Tommy sort of like, look, Covo, you look after him, you know what you're doing. And now I love that because if I can help a young player, that's, fulfilled so many things. Now, Tommy, as I said, didn't have a clue what an approach means. Okay, so I've sort of sorted that in a way because I spoke to his dad and Tommy should, I was obviously spoke to his dad and said this, that and the other, don't really understand it. His dad didn't really understand it. So I had explained all this to his dad and his mum and Tommy, and we've now agreed that if there's a 7-day approach, there is one in at the moment. I don't have to mention where it's from, who it's from, but they will have to deal with me because I know how managers can change things when they're talking to people and perhaps give them the wrong idea or lead them down the wrong path. And if I'm going to turn around and say, have I done that myself? Possibly years ago. But I wouldn't have a young kid like Tommy put in that position. So his dad is very, very well pleased. And so is Tommy that any club want to talk to Tommy, they have to talk to me.
Yeah, brilliant.
And hopefully, and to be honest, the one thing that secures Tommy to play for our club the rest of the season. At the end of this season, it becomes a different situation. If Tommy progresses like he has progressed, then nobody's going to step in his way to just play for East Thurrock if he could play higher, because I wouldn't want to do that either. But because that's not the right way to treat young players in my mind. But if they go in front of managers from other clubs, they're just going to say whatever the player wants to say, do whatever they think he wants you to do to get him to sign and go for that club. I know how it works. I'm not naive. to allow that to happen. On Tommy himself, I mean, he came in and you've all both watched him. He's been flying and he's been our best player time and time and time again. But if you have watched him, you probably also noticed his form has dropped. But that's not surprising. He's a young player coming into a level. Not surprising at all. Doesn't faze me at all that his form's dropped because it only drops for a little while. All of a sudden, that comes back. And it will come back and Tommy will then benefit from the fact that he lost form, but then got it back and he'll go on to bigger and better things. And look, I'm telling you now, if it's anything to do with me, because I'm, and I say if Tommy gets a chance to go to a higher club at the end of this season, I will be so happy for him. I will not do any, this is not about, oh, he's our player, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't stop young players progressing. Otherwise, you don't get young players coming in the future.
Yeah, completely agree. I completely agree. The thing is, I can only speak as a supporter. I mean, I'm not on the committee or nothing like that. But as a supporter, obviously, I love Tommy. He's doing a great job, and I want to see him do well here. But all I can ask is for the season. If he can go above, bigger and better, brilliant. Because, like you say, Tommy's one lad. But if we can set a tone of what we can provide or what you guys can provide to improve players or help them show their potential, and then go, you get more through the door. It's not about one man. It's about multiple players coming through and seeing Thurrock as an opportunity. East Thurrock as an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, dealing with this sort of thing, I mean, look, let's get this right. I mean, I don't want to sort of step out of my place. I'm not the manager, and I openly say that all the time. My son's the manager. He decides who plays every Saturday or whatever. And Kev, obviously, he's there as his assistant. Right. But when it comes to situations like we've got with Tommy, that's not a situation that, that John has experienced in the past. So it's something I step in because I think I can sort of basically stop Tom going anywhere, which increases Covo and Kev's chances of having a successful season. And if they do, that's brilliant. They're the managers. Let's not get this. I don't want this to look like, oh, I'm saying this, I'm saying that. I'm only doing things that help them too, and that includes training. My job is to watch a performance, analyze the performance, where can it be better, what can we do, and try to correct that, try to add stuff to them in training sessions. That's my job. After that, it's Covo's and Kev's gig, and I don't want anyone to think that I am I would never tread on their toes, put it that way. But it works at the moment. I think it works. It's sort of, it's great because I get a great deal of reward out of putting a session on and seeing the session sort of done quite well by a group of players, and hopefully Kevin Covo are sitting at the end of the season seeing that they've won the league, hopefully, and they can get the rewards from that, because if they do, that's down to them.
That's it.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. So thank you very much, Covo. And yeah, it's great to hear from you. And so hopefully we can get another win on Saturday, fingers crossed, for the reserve team and for the ladies on Sunday. But first team, we've got a week off this week, haven't they?
I mean, I know I'm away, but I've planned it so I don't miss a game.
Top
because
man.
we haven't.
I did mention that before, didn't I? I did say proper professional, eh?
Right. Always good to have him on it. Frank. He's shows plenty of experience, and he's certainly got the club at heart, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I say he's steeped in the history of it, isn't he? But like I say, I think he's great in it. He gives credit where it's due, Like you said, he surrounds himself with the best people, and Covo Junior and Kev are doing a fantastic job, But Covo Senior obviously just had that final little bit of magic on top of it all. But like I say, it's just that it's always amazes me, a man who's done what he's done and managed at the level he's managed, and he's still just got the same hunger. Like I say, as he said, as just before he left, he plans his holidays around it and things like that. He doesn't have to do this. You know what I mean? He's had a great career. He doesn't have to be here. He's here because he wants to be, and that just makes it even better, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't agree more. And he was saying about Newby, the He might not have a yard or two as much as he did before, but the hunger's still there, and I think it's exactly the same off the pitch with Covo. It's great to have him on, even from my perspective. Obviously, we've got Covo Junior and Kev, who are, as you say, are doing great as co-managers. But Covo Senior just gives that extra bit of experience, that extra different side of trailer fault and things like that. But it's like the other two managers as well, it's invaluable, but it's always nice to hear his different turn on things. Maybe it's just selfishly because I've known him for way too many years, as he said about Chris. But yeah, no, it's always good to hear from him. So that was the results. We've done the results. We spoke to Covo. We've now got the fixtures for this week. So the men's first team haven't got a game, as we mentioned. The men's reserves have got they've got a cup game. They are playing away, and they are playing a team in Division 4, who are called. They're away to Emerson at Upminster. So they're in Division 4 of the Northwest, I believe it is, and they are currently 7th. So fingers crossed. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy game, and with the first team that have the game, we may have a couple of people that drop down. But didn't quite get to ask Covo that. But yeah, obviously we shall see on Saturday. But I think they'll be hopeful to get a result and start to get things kick-start a little bit, wouldn't they, Frank?
Yeah, I think it was last week we spoke to your dad, didn't we? And he was saying that realistically we should have been in Division 4 with the reserve team, and obviously varying things meant we was in Division 3. So it's more our level, I would suggest. So again, it's not a gimme by any means, just because they're in the division below. We probably, as we spoke about, probably should be there ourselves, but we are where we are. But it's a big opportunity now because we've shown we can compete in certain moments against the Div 3 sides. We should be more in our comfort zone against the Div 4 side. So you've got to really hope that this is the game where we can, as long as they've got availability. I don't know what the availability is like. As we know, with all football, it matters who you've got available to you. So Jim, who he's got available, I don't know, but hopefully they've got enough to get over the line and give the boys a bit of confidence, because that's what they need, I feel.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And as you say, with a couple of first team players dropping down, that could do them a world of good. But we shall see on Saturday. Fingers crossed, there'll be a couple of committee members going. I haven't managed to speak to anyone yet to confirm, but hoping that they will, so that we can then put the VR up and people can watch it just like the first game would be. Because if it's on, I'll certainly be watching it from over here. I can tell you that for certain. So yeah, that would be nice. Hopefully Saturday, get a cup win under the belt, and we can report that next week. On to Sunday. The women, as I mentioned, have got a huge game. They're at home to Grays. Drew 1-1 previously, and yeah, let's just say there was a little bit of nibble in the game, a little bit of bite. So I think they'll be wanting to play exactly the same and prove their point to this young Grays team. And yeah, hopefully get straight back on the horse after a disappointing result last week and 3 points back on the board and really stamp a bit of authority. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough game to. It's probably a good thing in many ways. After a loss, it's probably a good thing to come straight back into a game like that, where it's going to be a bit of spice, because there's going to be no feeling sorry for yourself. They're going to have to be on it, because otherwise this Grays team are gonna put them to the sword. So there's going to be no messing about. We need the girls straight back up and running and fighting to get themselves back in the win column.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, so fingers crossed for Sunday. Get yourselves down to support the girls if you can. And also, if you can get to the reserves game, then the address will be on our social media, if it isn't already by the time this video comes out. So if the VO is there for both or either game, obviously you can watch that from home. But if you can't, if we're not able to get that up, then unfortunately the only place you will be able to see it live is at the game. Obviously we'll try and keep social medias up to date as much as possible, so people could stay involved. But yeah, as we say, we can only do as best as we can with the committee members that we've got. So we'll stretch as far as we can. And we'll get to as many games as we can and hopefully bring it to everyone else too. So that's the fixtures all done. Anything else you want to say, Frank? We went to that Christmas party.
Oh no, see, I missed the Christmas party. I went to the game, missed the Christmas party. I was working, unfortunately, but yeah, I heard it was a good time. I spoke to Chris, and he reckons it was very enjoyable. So yeah, did you hear
Definitely.
anything?
Yeah. I spoke to Jono, I spoke to Dad, I spoke to Mum afterwards as well. But yeah, no, they all said they had a great time. So it's yeah, the people that we've got at the club, people are going to have a good time when there's a band involved, a DJ, and a couple of drinks. It's and especially with a win to go with it, it's always going to be
Yeah,
going pretty well. There's not going to be
I
many
know.
bad nights with that group involved. So, but
Is it?
yeah, it sounds like it was a great night. I haven't got any figures across from Sean or Claire yet, but I'll hopefully be able to share that next week just to keep everyone involved with how much, if we manage to make any money, obviously. As we've always mentioned before, any money that we do make obviously goes straight back into the club. So it's a great event, and the main thing was to celebrate Christmas and all come together. So that was definitely done.
Yeah,
And yeah, it sounded like another good night. I obviously wish I was there, but yeah, needs must. And yeah, I couldn't really afford the grand and half to cut fly home just for a night. And I'm not sure that made the most sense. I did wake up to four missed video calls though. One from Bruno and three from Kev. I think the latest one was about 7:30 in the morning over here, so that would have been 11:30. I'm sure they were both very, very sober, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that would have been nice to get it, but I wasn't quite expecting it, so I was sound asleep at that point. But hey ho, maybe the next one. So yeah, that was the Christmas party. All good. Everyone sounded like they had a great time. And I think that may be towards the end of the episode. Have you got anything else to say, bro?
No, I know. I don't know. I know nothing more about it than anyone else, but I know I know we're a bit early for it, but we've got the committee meeting coming up first Monday in January it'll be, and I'm hearing there's good news. So, any fans, just try and I'm letting them know nice and early, just try and make sure they're available to
Yeah.
get to that because it sounds like it's something we're all going to want to hear. So hopefully some more exciting news for us. I
Yeah.
know nothing, by the way. I've heard it might be exciting, so I'm going to be there.
Sounds good. No, yeah, get yourselves down to the owners' meeting for that at the start of January. And one other thing I will mention before we go is the fact that we've got a coach going to
Oh, it's
yes.
Fulk.
Yeah, we're going to
Yeah,
Fulham, but they are playing at Holland FC's ground in Clacton. It's a lovely little ground. I didn't actually play there, but I played on a pitch over the back in which you had to walk through the ground to get there. It's a lovely little ground. It'll be really nice to play there. I'm sure they'll have the floodlights on by the time we play, which will be good to play under lights for a little bit as well. And get yourselves down. I think we might be doing a little promotional offer on the coach just to get it all full. And especially it being just before Christmas, have a little club owner fan celebration on the way home. Hopefully, you never know after a good result.
it's a,
That's
yeah,
that's a week. That's a week Saturday, so the 20th. Get in touch. As I say, I think the coach will be slightly cheaper than normal. Obviously, we still need to cover costs and things like that, but we'll do whatever we can to get that coach full and hopefully get it buzzing for the way there, and then even more for the way back. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
yeah. It's a massive game, by the way. That full game, massive game because we've developed a little bit of a rivalry with them, haven't we, over the last couple of games. So that is a big, big game. They're going to be well up for it, so we need as many there as we can get, really.
Yeah, definitely. So get yourselves there if you can. As I say, we want to fill that coach out, and it's only Clacton. It could be a lot further. The old club done a couple of further trips. This might be up there with the longest for the new club, but it'll be great to get your support and get as many people down there as we can. It would be nice to go 3 out of 3 against them, wouldn't it?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Bragging rights down top of the
Definitely,
league.
of course. That's all you want. Perfect. I think that wraps up this episode of You from the Pen. Thanks, Coro, again for coming on. Always nice
Yeah,
to hear from him, and hopefully we'll be back next week with reports of 3 points and a cup win. But you never know. All you can do is keep your fingers crossed.
exactly, mate.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Right, take care, mate. See you next week.
Bye bye.